What is up, guys, and welcome back to a brand new video. Today we are here for the penultimate race of FY22 My Team Career Mode, and this is the final sprint race of the season. This is the Sao Paulo Grand Prix, the final sprint race of the season, as I mentioned, which means we could be looking at a chance for a few more extra points, but given the card that we have, I'm not too sure if that's going to be accomplished or not, but we'll see what happens. So yeah, heading into this weekend, we're coming off a points finish in Mexico, which I was actually surprised about. In all honesty, I wasn't too sure what would happen because of the card that we have. So we're able to we were actually signed ourselves a new sponsor. I think it's, I don't know how to say it. I think it's Esto something. I can't even remember what it was. You guys will see as you just saw. So we've gone away from Highland. I think that was our previous sponsor, and we have gone for a new sponsor, which is I actually can't even remember what it was. So we've got the weekly resource points coming in. So just saving all the parts from the aero and the powertrain departments as possible. MG UK, could we do? Yeah, maybe. It's not affected, so I think it's best if we get the durability upgrades at level 1, I guess. 150 plus resource points coming in, so I've got 600 odd resource points to spend, but I think I'm going to save those valuable resource points for when we get to the practice sessions. But as you can see, I think we had a couple of upgrades come on the car, and just look at how close it is between us and the lower midfield teams. That is seriously so tight. With Haas, Williams, Alfa Romeo and Aston Martin, if we had like an ultimate upgrade, we jumped those 5 teams really quickly. And just a quick look at the results throughout the season. You can see Oscar, yeah, he's been consistently at the back and consistently behind Nicholas Latifi. He finished ahead of them for the first time at Kota, and that was the first time he finished ahead in what would you say, France, Austria, something like that. So yeah, it has been a little while between drinks for Oscar getting ahead of Latifi, but honestly, he has been driving a bit of a shitbox all season long. But as you can see, we got P1 in practice 1. That's not going to be as realistic as what it is. 1777 resource points coming in. We should be able to save nearly all the parts by the time we finish, qualify for the sprint race. So as you can see, we are in rainy conditions in qualifying, which is okay because we can fuel up the car to do multiple laps, because the track is meant to dry up towards the end of Q1 and maybe completely dry in Q2. So we'll do a few laps, recharge the battery, and then we will set out for another few laps. So this is our first Baker, 1 minute 15.4. That's going to improve the more laps we do around at this time. So we're pretty much 4 tenths up as we going around the middle sector on this lap. We actually went purple to the middle sector, so I'm not sure if that's a lie or not. I'm pretty certain that I upped the AI difficulty. We've hit the wall on the inside, just on the main straight. I don't think it's done too much damage. We're out of battery, so we're gonna recharge and go again with 8 minutes to go. And we're going to see what we can do. We're not really finding the time at the moment. Our last lap was a 15 dead. So 2 personal bests at the moment. Up to the line, 1/10 improvement. We were out of battery on the end of our most recent run. And it was we've dipped into the 40s. Now this is Lando Norris with a few minutes to go or something. He's coming onto the main straight now. He's currently 19th and he improves to P5. So the track Doesn't look like it's improving. However, that lap was on a set of intermediate tyres. As you can see, everyone else has done 1 lap, but we've done like 5 consistent laps, and we've been able to find the time. Now everyone starts to come out. We're going to go out on a new set of intermediate tyres. However, Bottas and Magnussen in 12th and 13th are on a set of soft compound tyres. But the reason why I'm going is that I don't feel safe where we are, because I was sort of expecting nearly everyone to come out maybe on a set of inters or slicks if they were brave enough. But as you can see, we're a second up and we're purple to the middle sector. We're not down in Q1 at the moment. We're in P20. I kind of expected that, but up to the line, it is a 1.3 second improvement. Where are we? P3 in qualifying. That is a big surprise. Daniel Ricciardo topped out Q1, and the likes of Fernando Alonso and George Russell are knocked out. Verstappen, Norris and Perez are nearly knocked out as well.
We've got a bit of a situation at the moment. Seems like something's off with the fuel injection system. We're looking into it, but we're going to be out of action for a few minutes.
Good. Absolutely good. So we're going to be out of action for a few minutes, which is not terribly bad. Oscar's first lap is a 9.2, so that definitely confirms that it is dry compound tyres or slicks tyres. I can't even speak. What is going on with me? Been a little while between Korean Made episodes. But yeah, so slick tyres is the way to go. Oscar is in P11 at the moment. He might have a chance to get into Q3 here. But you know what? I want to do something here. If he's that close into Q2, if he's that close to getting into Q3 at this point, then what I want to do is I want to wait and let Perez through. And as you can look at the mini-map, Oscar Piastri is now right behind us. Our tyres are stone cold. But you know what? I'm going to compromise myself, and I'm going to give Oscar the best chance to get into Q3. So here we go. We're going to give him a nice slipstream. Our lap is already ruined because we missed the apex at turn 1. We give him a nice slipstream. We're going to pull out and let him through. Now we're going to see what he can do. Our tyres are still coming up to temperature now, but it doesn't really matter because we're going to be knocked out anyway. Piastri is currently in 12th at the moment. Bottas, Ricciardo and Latifi are out, but it doesn't really matter because we've still got a sprint race coming up after this. Where does Piastri go? He's well, I thought he was further up the order than 12th, but I think he got knocked out by maybe Mick, and then he got knocked out by Seb or something. So we were 3 seconds away from the fastest lap time, but we were 2 seconds or something like that away from Piastri or whatever, only because I compromised my race or my session just to try and help him get into Q3, which I reckon the slipstream helped, but I'm not so sure what went wrong there. I was literally behind Piastri the whole way around the lap, and it looked like the track was sticky with him. Honestly, I thought it was. There wasn't really anything that I thought he did wrong. I thought it was a solid lap. Yeah, so I am a little bit confused about that, but we've still got 12 laps ahead of us in the sprint, and plus another 36. So we've got 48 laps of racing in this episode to contend with. So we've got the sprint race to go. Can we get all these parts protected for the Rex change? No, in aero. So we can do that ERS upgrade. So we're gonna have to wait until the next episode to finish off those parts which we can protect.
Welcome to today's sprint. This is shaping up to be another fantastic weekend. Let's run you through the driver grid order for today's exciting sprint. Charles Leclerc lines up on pole position, and the smooth operator Carlos Sainz completes the front row. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Hamilton, Verstappen, Lando Norris, and Perez. Ricciardo, Magnussen, Vettel and Guan Yu Zhou, Mick Schumacher, Bottas, Oscar Piastri and Stroll, Latifi, Skip, George Russell and Fernando Alonso, Ocon, Gasly, Tsunoda and Alex Albon picks up the last spot on the grid. And with preparations almost complete, let's head trackside for today's sprint.
Alrighty then, let's see what we can get out of this 12-lap sprint. I'm surprised that by now we don't even have the choice to use a set of soft compound tyres. Well, I mean, we don't even have that much tyre wear upgrades anyway, but they say those softs won't make it to the end. Well, I'm not going to take that chance, and we're going to go with the mediums. Away we go. Good start up against Latifi. Well, sort of. But then Russell outdrags us, and here comes Alonso as we dive bomb as many people into turn one. We avoid contact with Piastri, which is all good so far. Now we've got Alonso right up our gearbox. We are on board with him right now. We defend immediately. I was looking at the proximity arrows, and we aggressively defend, or literally immediately defend the inside line, and we hold stations ahead of Fernando Alonso at the moment. Here is Bottas going up the inside of Lance Stroll, and Piastri is involved in this as well. Can he get up the inside of Mick? If he can hold around the outside, he'll have the inside for turn 10, I think this is. I'm not too sure. We are defending from Alonso. We force him a little bit wide, but we ran a little bit wide ourselves. Here comes Gasly trying to make a move on us. Hectic first lap here. This first lap had nearly everything. Now we're going to try and defend from Gasly. The AI are so quick in a straight line. It's like I can't compete with them. Here comes Russell going around the outside of Alonso and maybe potentially Gasly as well. We go to the inside line, or to the normal racing line to try and outbrake Alonso. Now he and Gasly are fighting, and Russell doesn't even get either of them. So Russell is still holding stations in 18th at the moment. Leclerc leads this sprint race. The newly crowned world champion is leading the way at the moment. Alonso gets past us, but we are still plenty close enough to look up the inside of Alonso. DRS is now enabled, and that was I can't even speak. That was the detection line that we crossed at the apex of turn 2, and that means we were back far enough just to keep him ahead, or keep us ahead of Alonso. Here he goes again. Oh no, this is Russell. He got past Gasly and Alonso. As he gets dead, that's that white line there. We were behind Russell at the detection line, which means we get a dose of DRS. And with us squabbling, this ain't doing Alonso and anyone else behind us any favours.
Here's some information on Russell for you. They've got an issue with their car. They're going to be slow.
So as I was saying, we're almost halfway through this sprint race, and what you're seeing right now is me defending the inside line, which we probably don't really need to, but I'm trying to give Piastri as big a gap as possible to us, so that when Russell or Alonso, or when someone behind us eventually overtakes us, he can hopefully hold on to that position. But there's Alonso. We're going to try and sneak up the inside. He doesn't know that we're there. There's contact, and he eventually gets on through. So what's the gap to Oscar? About 6 seconds, and we're halfway through the sprint. So it could be touch and go whether Alonso can get Oscar or not. Gasly got up the inside of George Russell into turn 4. Let's just take a deep breath here for a second. We're able to hold Gasly at bay for a few laps, but we're just cruising or trying to get through the sprint race as quickly as possible. Here comes Gasly with a bit of with DRS and slipstream behind us. We got we've made the apex at turn 2, but we'll have the inside for turn 2. Wait, did I say turn 1 or turn 2? Yeah, turn 1. I don't know. Anyway, we took the esports line through turn 3, or around turn 3. Here comes Gasly again, and we fend him off once more. Can we do this for another 2 laps? This is Alonso and Piastri having a look. There's a little quick look. He is catching him, and he is within DRS as we move on to the penultimate lap of this final sprint race. Gasly tries to go around the outside again. Yellow flag. What is that about? So Gasly can't really do anything. We're low on battery, which I don't think is going to be much of an issue. Yuki Tsunoda is out of the race. That's all good. And Esteban Ocon is out of the race. So 2 drivers in the space of 10 seconds retire on the penultimate lap of this sprint. Now here comes Alonso having a look at Oscar. This is on the last lap as well. Is there yellow flags to be obeyed? Yes, there is, because Tsunoda is part of the exit of turn 2. But Alonso is going to have another dose of DRS. Can he find a way past Oscar? He's doing as much as he can, Piastri, to try and fend off. But Alonso got a good run around the outside of turn 4. He's still on the outside, but he'll be on the inside for turn 6. And Alonso, the experienced 2-time world champion, gets through on the young Aussie. Unfortunate there that Alonso got him at the end. While that was happening, Gasly gets past us on the last lap. We try to get at the inside again, but he gives us no space. I don't know what it is with Gasly in giving us no space. He does this to us every time we race him. I don't get it. Anyway, we got DRS. We're going to try and defend for George. We're not going to defend. We do give him space, unlike Gasly. Charles Leclerc won the sprint race. So he'll be on pole for the main race tomorrow. We ran a little bit wide at the last turn, but Russell is a fair way back, so I don't think he'll get us at the last. So it's 15th for Oscar, it is 17th for us, and that is where we will start the Grand Prix tomorrow. So yeah, we did what we could. We held up everyone else as much as possible. But yeah, Alonso was a little bit too quick in that sprint race. So Leclerc on pole, Sainz and Verstappen in the top 3. So yeah, another lap of holding up Fernando, and I think Oscar would have been 14th on the grid. So now that's 12 laps done. We've got another 36 to go in the main Grand Prix. Let's see where we can end up.
Formula One returns to Interlagos once again with the stage set for what promises to be another classic Sao Paulo Grand Prix. Sebastian Vettel famously clinched his 3rd championship here in 2012, and just 4 years later, Max Verstappen treated us to one of the finest wet weather drives of all time. We're racing today then at Interlagos, a historic 2.7 mile circuit and one of the few anti-clockwise tracks on the calendar. Let's run you through the driver grid order for today's exciting race. It's Sergio Perez on pole today, edging out Lando Norris, who'll start from P2. Moving on to the rest of the grid, we have Sainz, Ricciardo, Valtteri Bottas, and Fernando Alonso. Joe, Leclerc, they'll be starting further back after an earlier grid penalty. Skip, and Kevin Magnussen, they've taken a grid penalty. Russell, Verstappen, and Sir Lewis Hamilton, and Vettel, they'll be starting further back after an earlier grid penalty. Latifi, Ocon, Mick Schumacher, and Pierre Gasly. Albon, Oscar Piastri, Tsunoda, and Lance Stroll brings the grid to a close. Anthony Davidson joins me once again in the commentary box, and it's fantastic to have you with us here, but I'm curious, as a man with experience out on the track, how do you stop those pre-race nerves from becoming overwhelming when you're lining up on the grid?
Well, I imagine they'll be starting to feel the adrenaline as they anticipate the rundown into turn 1, a bit like preparing to go into battle. The unknown situation will bring nerves, but that's a good thing. It will keep them focused on the moment and on their surroundings as we build towards the start of the Grand Prix.
Alrighty then, well, let's see what we can do ahead of this race. I think a simple strategy, medium to hard. That's been the preferred strategy all race long. I did try to think about a one soft to medium, but I think the tyre weight numbers are just a little too great. Soft hard, maybe it would be slower. We would gain the benefits of an undercut against the others around us, but the only negative side to that is we will be on much older tyres. So I think the simple strategy is to go medium hard. You can see there it says that we're going to be starting on soft, but that's not the case. We are going to start on the mediums. So we're going back to the strategy. We're going to stick with the medium hard strategy. Maybe come in a lap or so earlier than the preferred strategy. Maybe try and get the benefit of the undercuts. I don't know what's going to happen. We are starting inside the top 10, so our points on offer today. Guan Yu Zhou is up there with us as well, so he can probably tag us along nicely in this race.
Superb parking there, mate. Let's make sure we get the edge on the surrounding drivers as the lights go out.
So he might be the one that drags us along to a points finish as we get ready. 5 red lights ahead of us, and we're underway for the penultimate race of season 1. Good initial launch, but look at Max Verstappen coming out of nowhere. He's already alongside us as we enter turn 1. Contact between us and Leclerc. Leclerc's already won the championship, so I don't think he really cares if he retires out of this race, although he would like to finish this race. I'm sure that Ferrari would like that as well. Here comes Verstappen. What a start from him. He started like 15th or something. I don't know exactly. I can't remember. But what a start. He's already inside the top 10. What a start from Max Verstappen as he barges his way up into 8th place already. Now his next target will be Guan Yu Zhou. Bottas is up there as well. So both Alphas up there with us as well. It is possible that we might be able to get fringe points in this race. It depends on how well it all goes for us at the start of this race. So comfortable first lap, I'd say. Verstappen's already on the back of Zhou. There's Leclerc getting past. I knew that was going to happen, but here comes George Russell as he tries to go around the outside of us. Turn 1 on board now with Charles Leclerc. We stick our nose up the inside again. There is a little bit of contact between us and Russell. I think, is that another Mercedes that's with this as well? I can't remember. But there goes Max going past Guan Yu Zhou, and Charles Leclerc will be anxious to get past as quickly as possible for his race. He would like to pass the Alpha so he could stay with Verstappen. I am sure that he'll be desperate to do so. And there he goes around the outside at turn 1. DRS is now enabled, so we can get the benefits of some drag reduction system, and we can stay ahead of George Russell. Us using our overtake and the DRS open, and we still stay ahead of George. I don't know how that is possible, but we'll make the most of it. And Leclerc now should get the move done on Zhou. We get up his inside, but not Leclerc, unfortunately. And that might be, well, that should be the last time we see Charles Leclerc in this race. And well, here comes George Russell right now. No point in fighting him. In all honesty, I tried to do a bit of a switchback, but I don't know. It's either I can't get the switchback sorted, or the AI are literally parking it perfectly on the apex, which is avoiding me to even have a lunch. So the other Alpha, Bottas, is still ahead. Zhou tries to get us up the inside of turn 4. That's not the case. So Bottas is up ahead. He's still the other Alpha to contend. Look at the speed of Seb Vettel in the Aston Martin. But we defend the inside of turn 1 pretty well. And we run a little bit wide at turn 2. But well, there's Bottas now getting thwarted by Leclerc and potentially George Russell in a couple of seconds' time. So Charles has the inside, and there's a door open for George, and he will need no further invitation than that. So I think that's P9 now for Bottas. So now we're 1.5 seconds away. I am now literally pushing as hard as I can to try and get the DRS. So the gap is still sort of that 1.5 seconds. I'm using a lot of overtake to try and stay ahead of George Russell. Sorry, not George. He's already ahead of us. I'm trying to stay ahead of Vettel and Hamilton, who's also down the field a little bit as well. So this is constantly, I think we've touched with Vettel this time right front to left rear, but thankfully no damage of any kind, and we were able to stay in the race. Now a couple of laps later, we finally, we managed to get the DRS of Bottas, and this will be our first dose in a little while, and so now that I'm relieved that we've got DRS, it means that we can defend a little easier. One man who is doing a bit of defending is Checo Perez, trying to defend off Lando Norris, who hasn't left his gearbox since the start of the race. Now we're going to be on Bottas's gearbox for a little while now. So I think by now we're a couple of laps away from the pit window. I think our window opens on lap 16 or something. But we probably do have the option to go a lap or so longer. Maybe make more use of the hards, because I don't think the softs will last any more than 10 laps. I just don't think it is possible. So, but I decided to pit at the end of this lap, really pushing it into the pit lane there. So, I mean, yeah, look at that. Tyre weight isn't really too bad. So, probably could have gone a lap or so longer and get more benefit out of the hards. But into the pit lane we go. Hard compound tyres going. Oh, there's a problem with the right rear, I think Mark is saying, and that has cost us to Hamilton as well. And we're sideways and coming out of the pit lane. That is exactly what you need. Now there goes, I think, is it Magnussen or Schumacher? It's Magnussen that we're fighting with at the moment. Guan Yu Zhou's just coming out of the pit lane, so I think we've been jumped by him as well. So not a great few minutes for us here as well. We got the DRS off of Kevin Magnussen as well. He's taking us out. Magnussen has taken us out of the race, and I think we've actually avoided the barrier, but I think he's out of the race. Safety car is deployed. What was that about? Kevin Magnussen has taken us out, or he nearly took us out of the race. Here's the slow-mo. Now, we're past him at this point, but there is still a bit of an overlap. I think you can see I'm keeping my line where I am, and I think he might have just clattered into us. It's either that or he was going in the line that he was sort of coming into my line. He's just taking us out. I'm not sure. But there's Oscar Piastri. I don't know what the hell has just happened here. The safety car is now out onto the racetrack, and to be honest, this safety car has actually come at an okay time for us, because we were actually burning a bit more fuel than what I was sort of thinking, and I wasn't too sure whether we were actually going to make it to the end of it as well. Who's that that's just gone off on the left? Seb Vettel is now out of the race. Here's a little look at what happened. There's no smoke coming out, so I think he's just pulling over. I think it's a hydraulics issue or something. So something's going on with Seb's car that's forced him to retire the car, as the safety car is now coming in at the end of this lap. Now here we go, restart time now. On board with Guan Yu Zhou. Can we judge this to perfection? I think we have done just so. We've jumped Zhou, we're going to jump Bottas and Gasly. Not quite. Esteban Ocon. We're touching with Bottas. I'm steering the wheel hard left just to try and get away from him, because he wouldn't let go of us. Now we're trying to stay ahead of these guys as well. Bottas is going to be on our outside. Gasly can't do much more. We've got deep into turn 4. We say with the track limits. Bottas gets a better one. Where is Piastri? Is he side by side? Where is he? There is Oscar Piastri on his fresh hard compound tyres. He gets through, and wow. And well, to be honest, I was actually hoping for something like this to happen, but I wasn't sure how it was going to happen. So now we allow Piastri through, because I don't believe that he can defend on his own from the likes of Gasly and Guan Yu Zhou behind us. So now that we're ahead, or now that Piastri's ahead of us, he can set his sights on Bottas. And if these two squabble, and if he gets past Valtteri and we do the same, then we can do most of the defending ourselves. But the question is, do we need to stay within Oscar's DRS to help us defend that a little bit more? That's what I'm not 100% sure about. But now with 11 laps to go, we are starting to lose a little bit of touch with Oscar at the moment. We're not going to get DRS on this occasion, but I'm hoping that we do have enough pace left in the car to catch back up, and we've actually managed to do so thanks to us using a bit of our overtake and really maximising track limits as well. So Bottas, yeah, he's sort of holding firm against Piastri at the moment. I'm not so sure if he's on the same. I'm not sure if Bottas pits in at the same time as Piastri under the safety car. Here comes Gasly. We are having to defend a little bit into turn 1. 8 laps to go as we cross the line. It'll be 7 next time by. But yeah, look, here comes Gasly. Again, this actually happened a few times during the last half of the race. But we do manage to stay out. We do manage to stay well within the 1 second DRS window requirement as we skip a couple of laps. Again, it looks as if Piastri isn't quite getting close enough to Bottas. He certainly looks like he's definitely close enough for maybe a move at turn 4. But yeah, I'm not sure if he's got much more in the tank. Yeah, whether he has enough battery left to play with. I'm not too sure at the moment. So 4 and a bit laps to go. Can he get close enough to make a move? He's within 4/10 of Bottas, so I'd say yeah, he is plenty close enough. But whether he can stay this close until the DRS straight is another question. As they say, catching is one thing, passing is another. You just saw us ran wide a turn 4 just in the back of shot there. Can Piastri somehow find a way through? I'm not 100% sure whether he can or not. So you see, he's not close enough into turn 1 and 2. I don't know why he's not close enough. He's certainly close enough to stay close enough through the mid sector, but I'm not sure, in all honesty. So I think now it's just a case of whether he can pass Bottas or not. But look, in all honesty, he's done a great job today. And look, how we planned him to get in front of us and us defending the position that he's in now is something that's something I would have been asking from the racing gods, in all honesty, because I wouldn't have predicted this to happen, in all honesty. Well, it looks as if Piastri isn't going to quite get close enough to make a move on Bottas. That's pretty much been the story of the second half of the race since the safety car restart. He hasn't quite been close enough to really put Bottas under pressure. And look, in all honesty, Bottas has really held firm against Piastri in the closing stages of this race. Last lap now. Is this the last sort of gasp for Gasly to try and make a move? We're really low on battery now. But I am confident that Gasly will not make a dive bomb into turn 4. But here is the Red Bull of Sergio Perez winning the Sao Paulo Grand Prix. I think it's his second race win this season. He won in Monza with, I think that's Leclerc in second, and then Lando Norris in third position. It's Perez. No, it's Carlos Sainz who finished second. So Perez from Sainz and Lando Norris. This is the run out of the last turn. We're going to use all of the extra battery we can. We're going to get a dose of DRS, but Gasly is so much more closer to us than what we are to Gasly. To Piastri, sorry, I'm mixing up my words. Up to the line. Do we pip him or not? I'm not sure. Is it 13th? I think we did pip him because Piastri's 12th, us in 13th. We fed off Pierre Gasly. That has to be like under a 10th or something because that was so tight.
Red Bull pulling out all the stops today. What a great win. So, Anthony, what made the difference out there today?
I think it was clear what the main contributing factor out on track was: speed. I know it sounds like an awfully reductive statement, but fast cars win races, and we saw that today with our winner.
Red Bull puts up an outstanding fight for the front position today, and it's great to see it paid off for them. They do so much for the sports that you can't help but be delighted by today's race win.
Solid job from Checo Perez there. Carlos Sainz on the podium as well as Lando Norris. But yeah, for us, 12th and 13th, when you look at that from where we sit in the performance index, it's a great result for the team. Obviously, points would have been better if it was possible, but well, to be honest, looking at what happened and looking at where we probably could have been, to me, it looks like we kind of got screwed over by the safety car. But well, at the same time, Magnussen kind of screwed us over as well. So we got, when you look at it, we kind of got screwed over by Magnussen and the safety car, because Magnussen taking us out and him losing his front wing brought out the safety car, and that allowed everyone else ahead of us to pit, while everyone else had to slow and obey to the delta times. Yeah, it allowed it to gain time over the others. So yeah, when you look at that, so yeah, we've kind of been screwed over from a couple of things. Magnussen taking us out and the safety car because of the speed that we have to adhere to. Anyway, here's the photo finish that I've pulled up. So you can see us zooming in. So that's where our front wing touches the finish line, and look at where Gasly is. Yeah, as we zoom out. I mean, in real time, I think it was like 0.05 or something. The finishing, as we cross the line. When you look at that, that's almost like a full car lap, but at high speed, that's nothing. It's seriously nothing when you look at it from a high speed point of view. So, wow, this weekend nearly had everything. Yeah, it was a truly unforgettable sprint weekend. In all honesty, getting the cash in, and look at that, 9.3 mil. That is more than enough for us to afford Piastri for season 2. Whether he stays is another thing, because drivers can have certain demands that they need on HQ facilities, the amount of cash they demand. So we definitely had the cash to afford Oscar, but whether his demands match our facilities is another thing, if that makes sense to you guys. So right now we're on level 1 we're on level 1 for nearly everything at the moment. So the amount of cash that we're saving at the moment, they're towards Piastri for next season if possible, but they're also for upgrading the facility department. So getting Spec 2 for fabrication. I don't know. Anything to do with the facility departments, or resource points income, quality, the quality something, whatever it is, the amount of time that parts come in. So yeah, that'll really help us out, so we can get parts in a little bit quicker once we do the facility upgrades. But thank you guys so much for watching. Please leave a like if you enjoyed this video, subscribe to the channel if you wanted to see plenty more F1 and racing game content, and until the next one, I'll see you next time.